Have you ever noticed that those who truly succeed never feel the need to justify themselves, while those who struggle always seek validation? Have you ever observed the quiet confidence of those who walk in certainty, those who neither justify nor defend their actions? Have you noticed that the most powerful among us do not seek approval, nor do they explain themselves to the world? There is a profound truth hidden in this simple observation, a truth that, when understood, will set you free from the chains of limitation and doubt. To complain is to declare that you are powerless. To explain is to assume that others hold dominion over your destiny. And yet, the truth is far from this illusion. The world you experience is not something happening to you, it is happening through you. Your reality is nothing but a mirror, a perfect reflection of your innermost assumptions and beliefs. What you accept as true within must externalize itself in your world. If a man truly knows himself to be wealthy, does he speak of lack? If a woman is certain of her worth, does she plead for recognition? The one who possesses a thing does not need to proclaim it. He simply lives in the quiet assurance of his possession. There is no need for explanation, no need for justification, for he is not seeking permission from the world, he is commanding it. You were never meant to live as a servant to circumstance, tossed about by the opinions of others, enslaved by the need for validation. You are the creator of your world, the operant power, the source from which all things flow. The moment you recognize this truth, the moment you take full responsibility for your state of being, you'll find that complaints cease to exist. For what is there to complain about when you know that all things are but a projection of your own consciousness? The weak man complains because he believes himself subject to forces outside of his control. He explains himself because he believes others must grant him permission to exist as he chooses. But the one who knows, the one who understands the great secret of life, moves in silence, shaping his world with the quiet power of assumption. He does not argue, he does not justify, he simply is. Your world is yourself pushed out. It is a living testimony to your assumptions. Look around you. Every condition, every relationship, every circumstance is but the outpicturing of what you have accepted as true within. If you do not like what you see, do not waste your breath complaining about it. Do not seek sympathy. Do not look for explanations. Instead, go within and change the assumption that gave birth to it. The outer world cannot resist a new inner conviction. Have you ever wondered why those who complain seem to have endless reasons to complain? Why those who seek explanations always find themselves explaining? It is because what you focus on, you create more of. Every time you complain, you reinforce the very state you wish to escape. Every time you explain, you affirm that others have power over your reality. And so, the cycle continues until the moment you decide to break free. There is no need to defend your desires. There is no need to justify your dreams. Desire is the voice of creation itself, speaking through you, calling you to assume a higher state of being. When you accept this calling, when you fully embrace the feeling of already being the person you wish to be, the world must rearrange itself to reflect this new assumption. There is no force that can oppose you, for the only force that has ever shaped your reality is the force of your own imagination. You do not need to seek approval from the world, for the world is only reacting to you. The moment you shift within, the world must follow. When you truly understand this, you will walk in silence, knowing that your assumption is already fact. You will not seek confirmation from others, for the only confirmation you need is the feeling within. You will not complain, for you will see all things as a reflection of your own consciousness. And with that realization comes the power to change anything. The strongest force in the universe does not argue, does not explain, does not seek validation. It simply is. When the sun rises, does it announce itself? When the tides shift, do they seek permission? Nature operates with silent authority, and so must you. Speak only to affirm your wish fulfilled. Think only from the place of already having, and let the world adjust to your knowing. What do you gain by explaining yourself? What do you gain by complaining? Nothing but the reinforcement of that which you wish to transcend. Instead, practice the great art of assumption. Assume that you already are the person you wish to be. Assume that your desires are already fulfilled. Walk as though the world has already bowed to your command, and it will. Do not look to the world to validate yourself. Do not seek reassurance from others. Reassure yourself. The one who needs no explanation, who seeks no justification, who does not complain, is the one who has claimed his power. And in this claiming, the world bends to his will. Never complain, never explain. Walk in the silent, knowing that all things are yours the moment you assume them to be. This is the secret, this is the way. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are not bound by the limitations the world would impose upon you. You are the master of your reality, the creator of all that you experience. But to truly grasp this power, you must understand a fundamental truth. Your world is nothing but a mirror reflecting back to you the assumptions you hold within. There is no external force shaping your destiny. There is no power outside of you deciding whether you shall succeed or fail, whether you shall prosper or suffer. The only force at work is the power of assumption, the silent yet absolute law that governs all creation. What you assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, must manifest in your world. It is not a question of if, it is a question of when. If you assume that life is a struggle, it will be. If you assume that you must fight for every opportunity, that success is rare and difficult, then that is precisely the reality that will unfold before you. But if you assume ease, if you assume that life bends to your will, then no force in existence can contradict this assumption. The world has no choice but to reflect back the state you persistently occupy. This is why those who complain remain trapped in the very conditions they despise. Every complaint is a reaffirmation of an undesired state. Every word spoken in frustration, in anger, in disappointment is an acceptance of that condition as real, and by accepting it, one ensures its continued presence. The law is perfect, without error, without bias. It simply gives to each according to his assumption. Look at your life as it is now. Every relationship, every financial situation, every experience, good or bad, is a direct result of what you have assumed to be true. And yet, most people go through life unaware of this law, believing themselves to be victims of circumstance, blaming the world for their misfortunes, when in truth, they are simply seeing the reflection of their own consciousness. The question is not whether you are using the power of assumption. You are using it every moment of every day. The question is whether you are using it consciously, with intention and purpose, or whether you are allowing it to run on autopilot, shaping your reality based on past fears, doubts, and limitations. To transform your world, you must first transform your inner state. You must abandon the habit of thinking of what you desire and begin thinking from it. The difference is everything. To think of wealth is to see it as something separate, something distant, something yet to be obtained. But to think from wealth is to assume it as your present reality, to feel it as though it were already yours, to move through the world with the quiet confidence of one who possesses that which he seeks. This is the great secret of creation. You do not manifest what you want, you manifest what you assume. The beggar may wish for riches, but if he continues to see himself as a beggar, if he assumes that poverty is his lot in life, then no amount of wishing will change his state. The successful man, on the other hand, does not merely desire success, he assumes it. He carries himself as one who is already successful. He thinks, speaks, and acts from that state. And because he has accepted it as true within, the world must arrange itself to reflect this assumption. There is no need to force or struggle. The moment you assume a new state, the wheels of creation begin to turn. The outer world will shift in ways you cannot predict. Events will unfold, people will move into position, and opportunities will arise, not because you chased them, but because your inner state demanded it. Reality has no choice but to conform to the dominant assumption you hold. If you truly grasp this, then you will see the futility of explaining yourself to others. You will see that there is no need to defend your dreams, no need to convince anyone of what is coming, for you will know that the world cannot help but yield to your assumption. You will no longer seek validation from the outside, for you will understand that the only validation that matters is the one you give yourself. A man who assumes success does not need to prove anything to anyone. A woman who assumes love does not chase after affection. The one who assumes power does not need to argue or explain. He simply is. The change you seek begins within. The wealth you desire, the love you crave, the success you dream of, it is all already yours the moment you assume it to be. There is no waiting, no pleading with the universe. There is only the quiet, unwavering confidence that what you assume must be made manifest. You are already using this power. You have been using it your entire life. Now the only question is, will you use it consciously? The mind that is fixed cannot be moved. The one who knows his desire is already fulfilled, does not waver, does not seek confirmation, and does not allow the opinions of the world to dictate his reality. He walks with an unshakable confidence, for he understands that what he assumes to be true within must become fact in the world without. There is no force outside of him that can alter this truth, for he is the only operant power in his reality. You have been conditioned to believe that the world must first show you proof before you can believe in your success. You have been taught to wait for signs, to look for external validation, to adjust your thinking based on what appears before you. But this is the great deception. The moment you let the outer world control your inner state, you surrender your power. The moment you look to circumstances to determine what you believe, you become a servant to those very circumstances. But the truth is, the outer world is nothing but a reflection. It has no power of its own. It is a mirror reflecting back only what you assume within. The one who understands this walks in absolute certainty. He does not ask, will this happen? He does not question, is this possible? He simply assumes, and in assuming he knows. His mind is fixed, unwavering, immovable. He does not explain himself, for there is nothing to explain. He does not complain, for he sees no opposition. He simply knows that what he has assumed is already done. Most people live in a state of constant doubt, shifting from belief to disbelief, depending on what their senses report. One moment they feel successful, the next moment they see a setback and begin to question. They allow the slightest change in conditions to move them, to shake their faith, to cause them to abandon their assumption. And so they remain in a cycle of uncertainty, never fully claiming their desires, never allowing the assumption to harden into fact. But the mind that is fixed cannot be moved. When you assume something as true and refuse to waver, the world must conform. It is not a matter of if, it is only a matter of when. The one who assumes their success and never doubts it will see all things move in alignment with that assumption. The path may not be predictable, the events may unfold in ways unexpected, but the outcome is certain. It must be. To truly harness this power, you must discipline your mind to remain steadfast in the assumption of your wish fulfilled. You must reject all evidence to the contrary, for evidence is nothing but the shadow of old assumptions. If you desire wealth but see lack, do not accept lack as real. Assume wealth and persist in that assumption. If you desire love but feel loneliness, do not accept loneliness. Assume love and let your world reflect that assumption. It is the assumption that creates the evidence. Those who lack understanding will argue, will question, will insist that you must be realistic. But realism is simply the acceptance of what has already been created. To change reality, you must first refuse to accept what your senses report and instead assume what you desire as already yours. This is the only way reality is altered, for all change begins within. The world is full of those who explain their failures, justify their limitations, and seek sympathy for their struggles. They tell long stories about why things are difficult, why circumstances are unfair, why success has been denied to them. And in telling these stories, they assume them to be true. In assuming them, they perpetuate them. They do not realize that with every word of justification, they are binding themselves further to the very conditions they wish to escape. But the one who knows does not speak of obstacles. He does not justify, does not defend, does not seek approval. He assumes his success, and that assumption becomes fact. His confidence is not born from external validation. It is born from an inner knowing that the world has no choice but to conform. He does not waver, for he knows that the only thing required is persistence in the assumption. You must train yourself to hold fast to your assumption, regardless of what the outer world presents. The moment you allow yourself to be moved by circumstances, you have stepped out of creation and into reaction. You have allowed something outside of you to dictate what you believe, and in doing so, you have surrendered your power. But when you fix your mind upon your desired state and refuse to be moved, you reclaim that power. You take back control, and reality must shift accordingly. When you assume something is true and persist in that assumption, nothing can stop its manifestation. You do not need to force. You do not need to struggle. You do not need to explain. You only need to assume and remain unshaken. The mind that is fixed cannot be moved, and the world cannot resist a consciousness that refuses to accept anything but its assumption. Hold firm and watch as reality bends to your will. Feeling is the secret. It is not enough to think of your desire, to visualize it in fleeting moments, or to speak of it with hopeful expectation. Thought alone is but a shadow without life, a mere outline without substance. The secret lies not in thought, but in feeling. For what you feel, you accept as true, and what you accept as true will inevitably shape your world. Every man lives in a world constructed by his own emotions. What you consistently feel in the depths of your being becomes the atmosphere of your reality. It does not matter whether the feeling is born from truth or falsehood, from wealth or poverty, from joy or despair. The law makes no distinction. It simply brings forth into physical form that which you have felt to be real. The unseen feeling becomes the seen fact. This is the eternal truth upon which all creation rests. The great illusion is to believe that the world is something separate from you, something to be influenced, persuaded, or battled against. But the world is nothing but your mirrored self, reflecting faithfully the emotions that you carry within. If you would change your world, you must first change the feeling that animates your inner state. No effort in the outer world will ever surpass the silent work done within. All transformation begins where no eye can see, in the secret chambers of the mind. To feel a thing is to accept it. It is to claim it as your own, even before the senses can confirm it. This is the subtle power that most overlook. The power to assume the state of your wish fulfilled in the absence of all evidence. It is not enough to speak words of abundance while feeling lack. It is not enough to affirm health while feeling the weight of sickness. Your words mean nothing if they do not carry the vibration of feeling behind them. The universe does not respond to your words. It responds to what you feel to be true. Feeling is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the invisible current that moves from the imagination into physical reality. If you would bring forth your desire, you must first feel yourself into the state of already having it. Imagine the world as you desire it to be, and then feel the thrill of its accomplishment. How would you feel if your wish were already fulfilled? What emotions would rise within you if the thing you long for were already yours? Let that feeling possess you, saturate your entire being, until you cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. Most people live in bondage to their senses, allowing what they see to dictate what they feel. They observe the outer world and respond with fear, frustration, or longing, never realizing that these very emotions are the cause of the reality they observe. They believe that once conditions change, their feelings will follow. But this is to place effect before cause, to put the shadow before the light. The secret is to feel the reality of your desire before the senses can confirm it, to walk in the mood of fulfillment even while every appearance suggests lack. It is not enough to simply suppress negative emotions or mask them with empty affirmations. The mind cannot be tricked. The only way to transform your world is to genuinely shift your inner feeling, to assume the state you wish to express with unwavering conviction. If you would feel yourself wealthy, you must not simply think of wealth, you must enter into the sensation of already possessing it. Let the feeling of wealth rise within you until it becomes your natural state of being. Do not merely daydream of love. Feel the embrace of love as though it were already yours. If you persist in this assumption, reality must yield. The outer world will begin to rearrange itself in perfect harmony with the feeling you have claimed within. Doors will open where none appeared before. Opportunities will unfold without effort, and people will move into position to fulfill your desires, not because you forced them, but because your inner state demanded it. This is the great mystery of creation, that the world does not create your feelings, but rather your feelings create the world. There is no need to ask how your desire will come to pass. The how is not your concern, for the unseen forces of creation operate in ways far beyond the comprehension of the human mind. Your only task is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to dwell in the mood of already having, and to let the world mold itself to your assumption. If you would change any condition in your life, do not battle against it. Simply withdraw your attention from it and assume the feeling of its opposite. If you would be healthy, feel yourself into the state of radiant health. If you would be loved, feel yourself into the arms of love. If you would be wealthy, feel the ease and security of wealth already in your possession. This is the great secret, that what you feel yourself to be, you will become. Nothing is denied to the one who feels himself into the state of already having. The world is your servant, yielding to your inner state with perfect obedience. But the mind that questions, doubts, or wavers in feeling will see only delay, for hesitation is the denial of assumption. The key is persistence, to dwell daily in the mood of your wish, fulfilled until that mood becomes your natural dwelling place. Do not be deceived by appearances. The outer world is but the shadow of your inner state. Feel yourself already possessing that which you desire, and in time your assumption will harden into fact. This is the law, immutable, absolute, and without exception. It does not fail those who use it with faith. Feel your way into the life you desire. Let every emotion become an offering to the unseen power that shapes all things. Walk through the world, not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. In the silence of your heart, claim your desire as already yours, and the world will echo your inner state with perfect precision. There is a fundamental truth that governs all creation. You can only receive what you are conscious of being. The world is not happening to you. It is happening through you, reflecting back to you only what you accept as real in the depths of your mind. If you desire a new life, a new experience, a new identity, you must first assume it in consciousness. You cannot receive wealth while identifying as poor. You cannot experience love while seeing yourself as unworthy. You cannot step into a higher reality while clinging to the assumptions of the old. Your present life, with all its circumstances, conditions, and experiences, is nothing more than the embodiment of your past assumptions. It is a living record of the thoughts and feelings you have accepted as true. If you look upon your life and see anything you do not desire, understand this: it exists because, in some way, you have accepted it. The moment you shift your consciousness, The moment you assume a new state of being, the world must rearrange itself accordingly. To change your life, you must abandon the old self. The old self is nothing more than a pattern of thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions that have hardened into fact. It is a state of mind that has played itself out in the world. But the great secret is that you are not bound to this state. You are free to assume a new state at any moment. You are free to become whoever you desire to be. The only requirement is that you accept this new identity as real, that you feel yourself to be the person you wish to become. Most people attempt to change their lives while clinging to their old self-concept. They seek abundance while identifying as lacking. They desire love while holding on to loneliness. They wish for health while believing in sickness. And so, they remain trapped, for the law is unchanging. You cannot experience a reality that contradicts your own self-definition. The world will always reflect what you assume to be true of yourself. If you would transform your life, begin by assuming the feeling of already being the person you wish to become. Do not wait for external proof. Do not seek validation from the world. The change must begin within. Imagine yourself already in possession of your desire. See yourself as the person you long to be, and then, most importantly, feel the reality of this assumption. Let it possess you completely. Walk, talk, and think from this new identity, and the world will follow. The process is simple, yet it requires unwavering faith. You must persist in your new assumption, even when the outer world seems unchanged. The delay is only an illusion. The moment you assume a new state, the world begins shifting beneath the surface. Events are set into motion, circumstances begin to rearrange, and in time, your assumption hardens into fact. But if you allow doubt to creep in, if you return to the old state, you undo the work. This is why persistence is key. The world cannot defy a consciousness that refuses to accept anything but its assumption. There is no need to struggle, no need to force, no need to explain yourself to anyone. Simply assume and persist. Live as though you are already the person you wish to be, and reality will conform. This is the law of consciousness, the creative power that shapes all things. It does not fail. It does not discriminate. It simply gives to each according to their assumption. At every moment, you are given a choice to remain in the old state or to step into a new one. The decision is yours. No one can make it for you. No circumstance, no person, no external force can prevent you from assuming a new state of being. The only barrier is your own unwillingness to believe. If you can accept a new identity, if you can feel yourself already in possession of your desire, then nothing can stop it from becoming reality. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. The mind cannot comprehend the infinite ways in which reality reshapes itself. Your only task is to assume and persist. The world will take care of the details. People, events, and opportunities will appear in perfect alignment with your assumption, not because you forced them, but because they were always the natural outcome of the state you claim. This is the power that is yours. This is the truth that governs all creation. You are always free to assume a new state, to step into a new reality, to become whoever you desire to be. The only requirement is that you believe. The only condition is that you persist. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and let the world mirror your assumption with unwavering accuracy. There is a power within you so absolute, so limitless, that once fully understood, it leaves no room for doubt, fear, or hesitation. This power is the imagination. The unseen force that creates your world. All that you behold, all that you experience, is nothing more than a reflection of what you have first imagined and persistently assumed as true. The world outside of you is not independent of you. It is your own imagination objectified. To change the world, you must first change the imaginal acts that give rise to it. Every moment you are imagining, consciously or unconsciously, the images that occupy your mind. the inner conversations you entertain, the feelings you dwell upon, all of these form the unseen reality that will soon harden into fact. What you accept as true in imagination will, in time, become visible in your external world. This is not a mere philosophy, but a law, one that governs all creation without exception. Most people believe they are at the mercy of circumstances, that life happens to them without their control. They see events unfold and react, believing their emotions and experiences are dictated by forces beyond their command. But this is the great deception. The truth is that every event, every experience has first existed in the unseen realm of imagination before it was ever witnessed in the world of form. The imagination is the blueprint, the architect, the foundation upon which reality is built. What you dare to assume in imagination will become the life you live. If you desire success, wealth, love, health, or any other experience, you must first create it in the unseen world of imagination. You must dare to assume that it is already yours. Do not wait for the world to confirm it, for the world is only a reflection of your past assumptions. If you look upon the outer world to validate your desires, you are merely seeking proof in a mirror that reflects only what was previously accepted. The wise man does not seek confirmation from the world. He creates confirmation within himself, knowing that the world must follow. Every great achievement, every monumental success first existed in the imagination of the one who dared to assume it. The inventor does not wait for proof that his idea will work. He sees it working in his mind and proceeds with certainty. The artist does not wait for permission to create. He sees the masterpiece in his imagination and allows the world to catch up. The visionary does not beg for recognition. He knows who he is within, and the world eventually acknowledges what he has already claimed. The question is, what are you imagining? What assumptions do you carry within? What silent beliefs shape your world? If your life does not reflect what you desire, it is only because your imagination has been unconsciously creating a reality contrary to your wishes. Most people imagine failure, struggle, and limitation without realizing it. They see obstacles in their mind's eye. They entertain thoughts of doubt. They dwell on past disappointments, and then they wonder why life presents them with more of the same. But this is the law in action. What you persistently imagine, you inevitably experience. To take control of your life, you must take control of your imagination. You must discipline your mind to dwell only upon that which you wish to externalize. If you desire wealth, imagine yourself wealthy. If you desire love, imagine yourself loved. If you desire health, imagine yourself vibrant and full of life. Let this assumption so fully saturate your being that it becomes more real to you than the evidence of your senses. Your senses may contradict it at first, but pay them no mind. The senses only report what has already been assumed in the past. If you persist in the new assumption, the world will be forced to reflect it. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the creative power that shapes reality. The man who imagines himself poor will remain poor, no matter how hard he works, for his imagination overrides his effort. The one who imagines himself weak will see weakness manifest, regardless of his external actions. But the one who dares to assume strength, wealth, success, and happiness, even in the face of apparent contradiction, will see the world shift to match his assumption. To imagine is to create. Every great change in history was first imagined before it was ever experienced. The minds that shaped the world did not ask for permission. They did not wait for conditions to change. They imagined boldly, persistently, and with absolute conviction. And the world conformed to their vision. So I ask you, what will you dare to imagine? Will you continue to imagine limitations, struggles, and failures? Or will you take hold of your creative power and assume the life you desire? The choice is yours. The power has always been within you. Dare to assume, Dare to persist, and reality will unfold in accordance with your imagination. There is no power outside of you that determines your destiny. There is no force shaping your life other than the assumptions you hold within. The world is not happening to you, it is happening through you, a perfect reflection of the states you dare to assume as real. If you would change your life, do not seek change in the outer world, for the outer world is only the echo of your past thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Turn inward, for within you lies the only power that shapes reality. You are always free to assume a new state of being, to claim a new identity, to feel yourself into the life you wish to live. It does not require effort, struggle, or force. Only belief, only the quiet certainty that what you assume must be. The world will never defy your assumption, for it is bound to reflect your inner state with perfect accuracy. Feel yourself already possessing that which you seek, and it must come to pass. There is no need to explain, no need to complain, no need to justify yourself to the world. Simply assume your ideal, persist in the feeling of its fulfillment, and allow reality to shape itself accordingly. Walk in the confidence of already being the person you desire to be, and let the world mirror back to you the truth of your assumption. Nothing is denied to the one who dares to believe. No limitation exists except that which is accepted in imagination. If you would transform your life, if you would rise into the highest expression of yourself, then assume it now. Live in the conviction that your wish is already fulfilled, and the world will bow to your inner reality. This is the great secret. You do not need the permission of the world to be who you desire to be. You need only to assume it. Persist in the feeling of its truth, and watch as the world bends to your assumption.